Welcome to episode number 14 on the Benefit. We're on the creative world again. So I'm starting here on the creative world again. So after the balloon build, I decided that this week's episode is going to be all about storage. So I decided to go live on Twitch, and some local friends of mine came online and helped me to replicate our town's train station. And that's going to be the site of my storage building. And so we came by with this, and this is the train station from Sussex to Brunswick. There's some fine tuning to do, but I wanted to come here on Creative World so that I could lay it out with confidence, basically. And so this is kind of to scale. It's a little bit off in places, but it's a good representation of what a real train station is here in town. And hopefully you're seeing a real picture of it on screen. And so we're going to try to replicate this and give myself a new, bigger, better storage room. Obviously, some things are going to change. But this is the basis of it. This actually reminds me a lot in real life of how it looks or feels like to walk up to. Certain things are different colors or different sizes. But this is going to be the main storage for my Mushroom Island area. So this is going to be on the edge of that little hill, and then there's going to be a big flat where the balloons are launching, and then the the City Auto balloon will be roughly about there up in the sky as it is right now. But first things first, in order to do a storage building, I need to have better storage. To have better storage in Minecraft, you need shulker boxes. So I'm going to go into the BBF Realm and make a shulker farm. And I'm actually going to do it live on Twitch. This is the last day of my self-created infrastructure week here live on Twitch. And I think the best thing to do for a finale of it is to go try to make a farm. So I'm going to go make the farm, not following any tutorials, and if I fall in the void, then I fall in the void. There's got to be voids down in places, right? So bear with me, and we will switch over to the BBF Realm and talk about a shulker farm. Back here on the BBF Realm, and I've made myself up a couple of project boxes. I've got a whole bunch of wood in case I need to make chests and stuff. And then I grabbed a whole bunch of cobble deep slate just to have some blocks and a whole bunch of glass. That's pretty much all you need for a shulker box farm. There's also, one of these has some like trapdoor or armor stands. And I'll need to make a boat and stuff like that. But this should be enough to get by. There should be another chest here. Maybe I put it in this one. Yeah, there we go. So there's some armor stands, some spare stuff, and some lights, and some water. So this should be all you need. That's actually probably overkill to get a shulker box farm going. And I'm just going to make it way out, a quick one out in next to an end city or an end boat, as long as it's really close to a gateway. I know you can move them back to the island and you can move them back to the overworld. But I'm not too concerned about that. They're so productive, I could just like fall asleep there and wake up in the morning and have lots. So I'm going to go live on Twitch now, and we're going to go out to an end island somewhere and build the shulker box farm. A tongue twister for me. And I probably won't come back until it's made. It's just going to be a quick, simple little thing with a roof and then a glass bottle. I might show you trapping the shulkers just so that you can understand it's quite simple to do, but we'll come back when we're near the island. And future Ron here again, coming from the creative world. I'd gone live on Twitch and did the shulker farm, and I forgot to press record. So I felt it kind of important to come and show how I go about pacifying and getting the shulkers. I prefer to go for ships, because there are 3 shulkers exactly where I know they're going to be. There's always one on the back of the boat, There's always one on the very back of the boat, and then there's always one down inside of the boat guarding the elytra. He's right in here. Boop, boop. Right there. So there's always 3. So I use these 3. You can use the city, but I find you have to spend more time eliminating things or removing stuff unless you use minecarts. So what I do here is, generally speaking, I will fly into the top of the boat. I do need some blocks in my inventory, and usually I bring something with me. So I'll just pick some blocks. And actually, I'll put this into normal mode instead of creative, and show you how it is you can do it in creative. So what you're trying to do is block line of sight so they stop shooting at you. So block... Oh, I should have got a stack. So bear with me. The magic of creative mode. I have blocks in my inventory now. So yes, what I want to do is make something to block his line of sight. And now he'll stop shooting at you, potentially, supposedly. So then I want to kind of like inch my way forward and block his line of sight. And what I'm trying to do is get it so that I can push a piston into his face and push an end rod. So you want an end rod, and it has to be facing straight up and down. It can't be going sideways. It has to be facing straight up and down. And I put a piston, and I press that piston forward, and it pushes the end rod into the hitbox of the shulker box. So now what happens is this guy is blinded, and you're free to destroy the rest of the ship. See, this hitbox of this little end rod, when he closes, actually blinds him, and he can't see as a mob. So you do that for all 3 of the mobs, and I'll just keep doing it. I don't have a pickaxe or anything on me. I'm just going to do this by hand. And you want to get all 3. I'll do it. I won't have to worry about that guy. This one's the harder one in survival because he wants to shoot you the whole time. So you have to kind of like get hit a couple times maybe. And then it's kind of awkward to get the piston in place in order to push your end rod. But basically you can kind of sneak up here, and then you block him in so he can't see you. And generally what I do is I put a piston on this block here, because you can now get it to face properly. And if I had a pickaxe, I would break this and put an end rod here, and then you can push that into the shulker box. So you get 1, 2, 3 shulkers. And then you'll see all you have to do from this point forward is create the farm above the shulker boxes. So you can actually start right here and make your farm if he keeps closed. And erase the rest of the boat underneath of him. So I think you'll see in the next clip, we'll go to where the farm is like in production or made. Actually, let's go to creative here. Seeing as how I've showed you that step. So give me a couple seconds and I'll come back with the boat like mostly destroyed. Now that you've erased the boat, and you can see here's the dragon head that I left still on screen, and that's the bottom ridge of the boat to give you an idea. Now that this is done, you want to put some sort of collection at the bottom before you move the shulkers. So some kind of glass, non-transportable. So shulkers can teleport to a solid block. They can't teleport to anything that is a partial block or transparent, so glass, leaves, that sort of thing. So you want to make some kind of water collection depending on what your storage needs are going to be. You can go like I do, is water down to this way. You could cycle all the water to the center. You can make a round farm, you can make a square farm, you could do all this. But the point is, you want to have this in place before you move the shulkers. Remember, these guys are sitting on a block and they're blinded by the end rods. So the next thing you want to do is make where the farm is going to be, where they're going to hang. So you make some sort of platform, again, depending upon whether you're making a square or a round or a rectangle farm. For my quick purposes here, I'm going to make a little 3 wide section, just near enough so that they can teleport. Now, I don't remember exactly how far they can teleport. It's somewhere like 8 or 10 blocks. What you can do if you're a little bit nervous about, like, say, I think maybe this guy might be too far away, is make a little temporary one. That's a little bit closer, and then he's guaranteed to find something to go to. Now, what you can do is you can pacify this so that it's safer for you, because if you do this, that means that he can't teleport to any other square except for that one. So when you break this, he'll teleport exactly in that spot. The other thing you have to do before you ever break those guys in is get your AFK spot. And an AFK spot in these farms is basically this. You go down to, actually I need some kind of floor. You place down end rods, and the end rods are going to hold armor stands of all things. And the armor stands act as a shield to the player. Their hitbox is the full size of a square, which then means that the shulkers can't actually shoot. I don't want these here either. And there's different ways of doing it, so I'm not going to tell you how to do and how not to do this. And you can change it after, but you set armor. Let's get some armor stands here just to show you what it looks like. ARM. And simply by putting down armor stands on top of these end rods, you've now created a safe place for the player to be. And obviously you want some sort of floor that they can't teleport to. So for this situation, let's just put glass down. So the last thing to do before you ever make the farm live is, no matter what your shape or design is go through at the very last and make and double check that every surface that you don't want a shulker box to teleport to is completely covered in glass. And that also includes the mouth of your hole. So glass or some kind of non-spawnable. Buttons work, half slabs would work, anything like that. You could put string down, all that sort of thing that does your normal mob proofing. And again, the design matters, but it doesn't matter. You can make that could be your farm if you wanted to. So now watch what happens. As I break this purple block, actually let's go down here first. As I break this end stone, he's going to teleport up that way. So let's get down here and see if we can watch it. And he teleports into your farm. And the same with this guy. As I break this, he'll teleport into the farm. You can break this or leave that. And you can break this guy out and he should teleport. He can't teleport to glass, so he's got to go up that way. And he went straight into the farm. And you get rid of this, and ta-da, you have a shulker box farm. So let's get into the actual footage from the realm and show you what I've done from there. It looks sort of like this. The blocks are a little bit different. But yeah, we'll get in there and show you where I went back in time from. Here on the BFF realm, I've got the farm made. The boat is tore away and the ceiling's on and the floor's in. Now I have to take these shulkers and get them into the farm. So the only thing I have to do is break the block they're sitting on, and they should have to teleport up into here somewhere. So I have to break this one and then break another one and get out. And then all I gotta do is stand here. So let's try to break this and see how badly it goes. So he should teleport there, which is good. Then I gotta break this guy, and he should teleport up there, which is good. I need to break this. And I actually need to place the water in here. That's fine. Because in Bedrock, you can just press your down button and fly when you're in... So I need to place this one water source there. And that should have this all buttoned up. So there's the farm done. Simple as that. Now, luckily, these guys don't die in the meantime. There should be 2 up here somewhere. I have to break him out. I should be able to do that from here. He should have to teleport down inside of it. I think he did. And now when I get down inside the farm, there should be 3 shulker boxes. So 1, 2. I only see 2 guys, so maybe 1 guy died. I don't know. So now is the painful part of this farm. To do the farm like this, I have to wait for these 2 guys to shoot at each other. The other thing you can do is hop out, and the bullets will track you a little bit, so you can kind of lead them into each other a little bit from here. So this part is a little bit slower, and that's why it's best to have 3, and I don't know where the 3rd guy went. But this will be my life for a little bit. So we'll get this farm up and running, and then we can start in on the actual build this week, which will be the train station. Well, good morning. I went AFK here at the shulker farm overnight, and I was horribly underwhelmed. So when I woke up and I turned this back on, all the shulkers were hiding around the periphery, around the outside, and they weren't taking any damage, so they weren't replicating. And I only ended up with a stack and a quarter of shells after, like, I don't know, 6 hours. So what I've done is I've reduced the amount of space that the shulkers have to teleport to, so there's only a little strip of 2 wide blocks. And I can show you that by getting up here. For some reason my boat disappeared. I don't understand how that happened, but that's fine. So I've reduced the whole circle down to 4 little strips. And it kind of concentrates all the mobs into this one little space. The other kind of bug I'm seeing now that I didn't realize is every once in a while the shulkers will become invincible. They'll shut up and not take any damage. And when you go away and come back and get line of sight again and they aggro, they'll take damage again. But every once in a while there'll be an invincible shulker that will spawn in and stay closed. So I don't know if they've changed this farm the way it works. But long story short is that there are shells. There's going to be like probably 3 shulker boxes worth of shells by the time I'm done here. But I have to go to work in real life for a little while, so I'll leave this running for a little bit longer and see what I have when I come back. And we're going to get right into building the train station back on the Mushroom Island. And I know I promised back to the Mushroom Island, but this illustrates my point. There's 1, 2, 3 shulkers that are firing at me through a closed shell, and they're not taking any damage. So there is a bit of a bug right now, and I think I don't recognize this because I haven't made a shulker farm or used one in like probably a long time. So I don't know if this is like a bug or if it's an intended thing on Bedrock, but yeah, as far as I know, they shouldn't be able to fire with their shells closed, and they're not taking any damage. So the farm just kind of randomly goes like this guy, not taking any damage. Oh, maybe he's taking some now. But yeah, the farm just kind of renders itself obsolete, or shuts ineffective after a while. So I think long term I need to kind of redesign this, and I do have a design in my head that I'll try in creative mode first, but that won't be today's episode. There's a ton of shells down there. Like it's making shells. It's just not being very productive. So I think the key is to constantly lose and gain line of sight with the mobs. But this is the last you will see of this farm. I promise this time. But I just came back from work and saw that this is still being glitchy and buggy. So yeah, let's get and finally work on this train station I've been talking about. I had the best of intentions to get this build started and finished before stream today, but converting this Mushroom Island to moss actually took a fair amount of time. It's not all done, but there's a little path through the middle, and I intend on building my train station right in through here somewhere. So that's why I grabbed these warp blocks to lay out, and I've got my diamond hoe here to pick them up. And this will kind of let me lay it out. So I wrote down the dimensions on paper. And we're looking at like 3, 6, 9, and 4 would be 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 for the building. And then 16 for the courtway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then back to 13 for here. 3, 2, 3. Anyway, I'm going to lay this out here a little bit off camera and try to get a feel for where this is going to be. Actually, this is probably pretty close to where I want to have it. That's going to let me start to lay some balloons out at about this range. But I'm going to play around with it, moving it side to side a little bit and getting it just right. And we'll be back in a second. Actually, we're going to be back probably live on Twitch while I build this. Yeah, I think I'm happy with the layout here. It's going to give me I know it might be hard to see up here on top of the balloon, but it should give me enough space to actually put a train in the back here that's going to sweep up and around onto the island. So next is to start laying down the walls and get an idea, because the roof line is quite big. It's actually going to reach almost all the way over to that portal. So it's going to be quite a large build, and where I'm trying to make things to scale, it's what it's going to be. Things are going to be big. So yeah, maybe might even start to do a time lapse maybe of the build, and we'll like zip through it. Cool. Well, we just got done a 3-hour live stream on Twitch, and this is as far as I got. I honestly thought we'd be getting a lot far. I thought this would be like a 2-hour build, but this is 3 hours so far. So the floor is done. I've augmented the design from creative a little bit, but it's starting. It's coming along. There's 4 walls and most of a roof. But there's some things I have to go back into creative and double check to make sure I'm kind of doing it the way I thought it was going to be. And, you know, little things like windows and whatnot. But I need to actually go collect some more resources. So I'm going to take a break from Twitch, and we're going to go get some resources collected. Get some fresh eyes and come back and get this finished. Now, I think some of the finer details might come in the future. I'm more interested in getting this kind of done so that I can get moved in. The big part of this is it's going to be my storage room. It's going to be the basis of my day-to-day workings in this area. So I need to have storage done right away, and then I'll use it all the time, and that means I'll want to finish it. So I need to go get some copper and a little bit more cobble deep slate and a couple more granites, and I think I can get this buttoned up. Yeah. I'll be back after we get some more progress on this, and I'll show you what it's looking like. Well, I've been making some really good progress. Roof is all on. Everything's done as far as walls and roof. So the next step is going to be is to make the finer detail. And this is where it's really going to veer away from the actual build, like the actual real life. This looks a lot like real life, to me anyway. But now it's where the finer details, like the way it looks from in here is going to be different than real life. Some windows and doors are going to be where they're not in real life because I need to put storage in. Maybe this turns into a one wide window instead of a two wide, like all these little things. I'm going to make a pattern here on this floor where that's not going to be realistic. So this is where it no longer becomes the real build. This is where it becomes something I need to do to make it look the way I want it to. So the rest of the exterior is just finesse. The interior is going to be storage. So I have to now figure out where I'm going to lay down the chests. And then after the chests are in, I can start to think about changing the floor instead of just this plain spruce block to be a bit more interesting. I also have to figure out what I want to do with the roof line. So I need to get chests in here first. And I need to get some windows in. And I'm kind of debating upon doing like a stained glass type of look in through these bits. I can go make some white glass, but yeah, I'll play around with this too. I debated upon not having glass in these windows at all and having like a stone slab as the windowsill, which is a bit closer to real life, the fact that there's a very strong sill, and I like it. I just don't like that I can't put glass, like I wish that I could fill this little half block space. If I can place glass blocks. I don't like leaving that little slip. Anyway, let me do a pass of the finesse, and I will come back and try to show you the decisions that I made. Yeah, there's gonna be a little, like, I think maybe these windows will go all together actually. Yeah, let me do a pass and I'll come back and show you what I've been doing. I thought I might stop in here with another little design idea that I've been thinking about. So the great thing about living on a mushroom island is that at nighttime you don't have to worry about making the build so bright that mobs can't spawn. So you can work with the build being a little bit darker. So that being said, looking at this at nighttime, I like how the light shines up into and gets stopped by the roof. That's kind of realistic in real life. However, I think this dormer or whatever you call it has to be a little bit brighter. So I'm thinking maybe a light fixture inside of the building will make that look a little bit better. But at this stage, I've got the windows in. And so I think the shell of the building is pretty well set. Yeah, I'm really digging this. This, in my mind, looks a lot like real life. The other thing that's going to help is once the pathing is in outside and a little bit of greenery. There's some little trees to go in and stuff like that. And to work in oh, what do you call it? The boardwalk here. So this will be up another block here. Like this will be the path level here for the front, and then as you come around back, this will be where the train comes in at about this level, because this is where you would walk in or out after you get off the train. So the deck level back here will be up this high, down set to where the train comes in. So like this train has to still get changed. So this back deck is going to be up at the top level, where the front is down 2. So the next step is to get that on and to get storage in. Storage leads, okay, so storage has another problem of itself too, where this building is going to be unrealistic now. If I put storage next to the wall like I'm accustomed to, like you stack double chests up here, right? I'm either going to be blocking windows or have very small sections of storage. The other thing I could do is to come out from the wall a little bit and then have storage in this space. So if I give myself like 3 spaces, and then so I could run double chests up through this space. So I've got some interior designing ideas to have to go through here too. So lots of decisions. Yeah, but I'm digging. I've got to figure out something else to do with this roof too. It's really busy in here now that I've got some block variation and windows in, and then copper blocks, and yeah, there's a lot going on in here. But this is the fun part. Yeah, let me go and get these exterior stonework done, and I'll come back. So I've got the storage pretty well figured out the way I like it. It's gone with a lot less chest than I would normally do. I've put the chest against the wall again, but the idea is that as the chests fill up, I will condense them down into shulkers. So then it takes like a regular chest and multiplies it by 27 times, because you have 27 slots in here. So as I bring and fill this up, I will just condense it down into shulkers. So there's basically infinite storage in this space. So I'm just got it separated to like wood types, and then like nether blocks, decorative blocks, stone variants, and then partial decoration blocks, gravity items, the valuable blocks like coal and iron and diamonds, common use items like dirt and terracotta, stuff like that. I'll probably separate lights, and then there's still columns for everything else. So and also I've got these central little islands I can put things on. If you look up too, I've also added a little balcony. So these supports are going to hold like a little balcony up top. I can put like armor stands and like netherite armor sets and things like that. So I'll put valuable things up there that I don't use all the time. So that should be plenty of space up top. And so let's talk about the other part of storage. I've over here in Sully's, I've decided to put in bulk storage. So it's going to be, you put a block down to tell you what's in the chest. And then again, I've got all these double chests I can fill full of shulker boxes of things. So like netherrack or stone or cobble deep slate or drops from farms, stuff like that. So there'll be nearly infinite storage in here with shulker boxes. You'll go up like a ladder to an awning and give you access to the top ones if I need it. Also, I can decorate with like armor stands or things up between the two. So this should give me, like I said, tons and tons and tons and tons of storage. So if you look over here, the other thing I've been working on is an idea for a street light. It's a little bulky, and you have to kind of use your imagination because I don't have a whole lot of copper that's converted. So if you look at the green up on the roof versus the prismarine, it should kind of match up and look like a fully copper street lamp. There's a daylight sensor on top, so when it does turn to night, it'll come on. Last thing would be these flags posts. So in real life, these flags, there's 3 of them, and they run parallel to the side of the building. But with me in this world, I'm imagining that the wind is blowing that way towards the balloon. So if they were in a line, then the flags would just kind of run into each other. So I figured if I put them on a bit of an angle here, the flags I can get to run off in the wind. Last thing, oh sorry, around here would be the pathing. So the path blocks are going to be down here on the third block of the, I figured that's a bit too low. And this gives me a side that's up one block to do some decoration, and this goes up one more block to the level of the train. And I did decide I am going to put a train in here eventually, rails and everything. So there should be plenty of room here for a train and train tracks. But up to the same level as the storage building. So again, this would be like the incoming and outgoing doors, but it goes into the storage instead. Back here, I was thinking about putting in like some kind of dispenser button. So this is the ticket booth. So instead, maybe you press a button and like rockets come out of the ground or potions come flying out of somewhere. So there'd be room for redstone for that if I come to wanting it. Back around here, back down a step. And again, in real life, maybe there's some flower pots hanging off of here somewhere, and like there is in real life. And maybe I can do some decorations down on this platform. But if you get out here and take a look at it, and as a whole, it reads a whole lot like real life. I really like it. But I do want to kind of take a look at it at nighttime. So right now, I think the sun is, yeah, the sun's like right behind that balloon. So let's take a look at night. So quickly to nighttime, and I've changed and put a light in that roof. And so that dormer kind of stands out, and I do like that a lot. Just adding a highlight to the building, to the architecture of it. The street light, of course, isn't going to stay there. It's going to, I'm waiting for more buildings to kind of come in before I add it. Oh yeah, so here I'll probably go with like a Canadian flag, and then maybe like an American flag, and then probably like a provincial flag. But yeah, the street light will probably, as the world gets bigger, I'll probably change it around and change the placement of it. Yeah, I'll change and move the street lights around. Ooh, quick disconnect there, sorry. Yeah, as I said, the street light, I have to come up with a design because as the roads get placed in, I can use these street lights all over the town. And I think actually it has to be a little bit taller to kind of match the building heights. Yeah. So let's get up here and take a look at where we're going to put some more balloons, perhaps. Because next episode will be more balloons. I want to have a couple of balloons up in the air. Well, maybe one more up in the air and one more on the ground. But we can come around here and take a look at the building in the air. Oh, get a little bit farther away. So we get over here and come back. See, yeah, it's kind of, I guess I'm flying too fast. It's kind of hard to see. But no, I do enjoy this. It's close to real life, and yet it's my own build. I'm digging it. So that's going to be enough for this week. We're probably 40 minutes or so. So thank you very much. Next week we'll add a couple balloons. We'll add another one up in the sky, I said, and another one down on the ground.